A very good evening. You're watching the Super Saturday debate. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Let's begin with some breaking inputs coming in. The Bharatiya Janata Party has just released its 8th list of candidates. It's the 8th list of candidates for the Bharatiya Janata Party, announcing 11 candidates. Taranjeet Sandhu from Amritsar will be fielded. So will be Sushil Kumar Rinku from Jalandhar. Ravneet Singh Bittu will be fighting from Ludhiana. Dinesh Singh Babu is in place of Sunny Deol from Gurdaspur. A host of interesting observations being made over there. In fact, we are also learning that an IPS officer has also been fielded from one of the seats. In fact, let's quickly go across to Payal Mehta. Payal, share the highlights with us of this 8th list.
You know, Akansha, having had the experience that you have in the external affairs, beat and the circuit, it is not a new news that Taranjeet Sandhu was pretty much fancying his chances to really contest from Amritsar, so he's been given that ticket. A lot of turncoats who recently joined the BJP, whether it is Rinku from the Aam Aadmi Party, whether it is Ravneet Singh Bittu from the Congress Party, or even, Parneet Kaur, they have all been fielded from various seats in Punjab because the BJP wants to strengthen its base as far as Punjab is really concerned. Also, Bharatiya Mata, who just a couple of days ago joined the BJP from the BJP, he has also been fielded from there as well. So the BJP giving tickets to a lot of turncoats in this particular list that you can actually witness, right from Punjab to, of course, now Odisha is where we are looking at. So that's the seat essentially that one has to look out for. But it will be very important to see if Taranjeet Sandhu can actually break the things, because in 2014, when Arun Jaitley contested from the seat, he lost that seat. 2019, Hardeep Singh Puri lost the seat of Amritsar. It will be important to see if we can actually break their things and make a mark really as far as Amritsar is concerned, because the BJP has now also done away with Sunny Deol, one of the star faces and star campaigners also, but he's not going to be contesting this election, so there's a new face which is in place over there as well. And of course, Faridkot has gone to Hansraj Hans. Hansraj Hans, mind you, was dropped from the BJP's list of candidates from Delhi, but he's been fielded from Faridkot. Interesting contest on the hands, because, the BJP is trying to make its mark felt in the state of Punjab, and that's the reason a lot of procurement, if you may say so, have been made in the last couple of weeks from the north of Punjab.
All right, many thanks to you, Payal, for bringing in all those latest inputs. And with that, let's now shift focus over to the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, with the first phase of the Lok Sabha elections less than 3 weeks away. Now, the poll fray has already been heating up. Today, the Congress revealed that it has received 2 fresh notices from the Income Tax Department. In fact, Karnataka's Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar has also received an income tax notice. Now, he claims that the case against him was a settled matter and that the BJP is afraid of the Congress and the India bloc. As of now, the Income Tax Department has asked the Grand Old Party to pay dues of 1,823 crore rupees for alleged discrepancies in tax returns. Interestingly, government sources have revealed that assessments against the Congress Party are based on seized incriminating material. So much so, the Delhi High Court order has held that the Income Tax Department has substantial and concrete evidence warranting further scrutiny and examination under the Income Tax Act. But the Congress has attacked the BJP for unleashing what it calls tax terrorism. Also, it has accused the IT department of double standards. The Grand Old Party has alleged that it was completely silent on Bharatiya Janata Party's own tax violation of 42 crore rupees, which entailed a penalty of over 4,600 crore rupees. Meanwhile, today, the party launched nationwide protests against what it called the Narendra Modi-led BJP government's egregious attack on democracy. And that brings us to the big question that we'll be posing to our guests tonight. Is Congress's tax terrorism charge vendetta or violation? But let's also break down for you what government sources have revealed just days after the 1,800 crore tax notice was sent to the Congress party. They've claimed that they got 2 more notices last night. Let's decode the recovery notice of a whopping 1,800 crore rupees which was sent to the Congress yesterday. Of course, the Congress has been stunned by another notice here. Now, the first demand has been for the year 1993 to 94, which amounts to 53.9 crore rupees, as you can see. From 2016 to 2017, 181.99 crore rupees. From financial year 2017 to 18, it's over 178 crore rupees, going up to all the way to financial year 2019, which goes, in fact 2020, which goes up to 490 crore rupees. The total, of course, is amounting over 1,800 crore rupees. That is the kind of stamp effect recovery that the income tax department is demanding. Meanwhile, government sources have depicted a different picture. Congress's cumulative assets, including cash in hand and money in bank accounts, amount to nearly 1,400 crore rupees. As per their last declaration in 2023, Congress may need to pay nearly double that amount back. The IT department has now demanded over 1,800 crore rupees from the Congress party for 5 assessment years. Out of these 1,800 crore rupees demand, presently nearly 918 crore rupees is just for 1 year between 2018 and 19 when Lok Sabha elections were held. The final demand, in fact, shockingly, could cross over 2,500 crore rupees. And moreover, 3 years assessment demand is still to be sent to Congress party, which certainly could mean an existential crisis for the Congress unless the Supreme Court gives them any relief. As we all know, the Congress is all set to march to the apex court.
Yesterday night I got a notice from the income tax, which has already been settled matter.
Even you got it?
Yes, today also myself, I was shocked.
As per the law of the land, if somebody doesn't abide by the law of the land, he will get the notice. Right?
All right, so the big question we are posing tonight to all our guests is Congress's tax terror charge, is it vendetta or violation of the Income Tax Act? And for that, let me introduce our honorable guests tonight. I'm joined in by R.P. Singh, who's the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Matthew Antony, who's the spokesperson for the Congress Party, Kapil Madan, who's a lawyer and political analyst, also joined in by Mr. Vinod Jain, who's a renowned CA. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. If I could take my first question from you, Mr. Antony, the Delhi High Court has, of course, in its order upheld the fact that there has been escapement of over 500 crore rupees and that the Income Tax Department has provided incriminating evidence to prove so. Why are you calling this unreasonable, undemocratic, most importantly, a tax terrorism unleashed by the Bharatiya Janata Party?
Akansha, the Delhi High Court has said to go back to the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal and fight our case there. You look into the timing of this, that the last assessment here for which the notice has been received is 2019-20. There has been 4 years. Why they are doing it now? Why the Income Tax Department was sleeping for the 4 years? Now, having said that, the incriminating evidence which they claim is of some diary entries. If that is of the diary entries, then we should go back to Narendra Modi himself, who's a master corruption leader, because the 2013 diaries of Aditya Birla Company, where the income tax assessment officers also has certified along with the Aditya Birla corporate executives, Saxena and Amitabh, saying that all the email documents which have been seized by the Income Tax Department, which has got the details of what money was paid to whom, which date, when and where, was correctly there. And in that one, the recipient was Narendra Modi for 40 crores. Then Madhya Pradesh then Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan for 25 crores. And Raman Singh, the Chhattisgarh Chief Minister, for 4 crores. Again, in the Sahara diaries, which they have, again, income tax is pounced upon. There is also a payment for 40 crores for Narendra Modi, Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Raman Singh. Then the Yediyurappa diary, which is also there, handwritten and signed by Yediyurappa, the then Chief Minister of Karnataka, for 1,800 crores, 150 crores to Rajnath Singh, 150 crores to Arun Jaitley, and Gadkari 150 crores with 10 crores for his son's marriage. And all these things are there. And at that point of time, the then income tax head, CBDT head, Sushil Chandra, went to Arun Jaitley asking for filing and proceedings. Then he was in charge of Karnataka.
Made your point.
He reprimanded it.
Right.
So the Narendra Modi himself is leading this corruption, and he has demolished the income tax department, destructed
Matthew
the income tax
Antony,
department for a political
you've
vendetta.
still not been able to, bring to light what is that 500 crore amount that the Delhi High Court has discussed. We will be delving deeper into this, but I will allow Mr. R.P. Singh to get back to that. Mr. Singh, that is the classic allegation coming in from the Congress party, that there are double standards being followed by the income tax department, and that why aren't they training their guns at the Bharatiya Janata Party for that 4,600 crore worth rupee penalty that the BJP ought to pay back? You've just heard what Matthew Antony had to say. I'd like your rebuttal to that.
Well, I take strong objection to Mr. Matthew Anthony's wild and vague allegations about the dairy entries and all. I mean, there is none on record, but they are fond of storytelling. The famous Hindi.
It is on record.
Did I interrupt you, Mr. Anthony? Please go ahead. I mean, I'll speak after you have spoken.
No. I'm not interrupting you. I'm saying it is on records. Whatever I have spoken here are on records.
Sir, if it is on
But if
record,
we are talking about records, and the most recent is the order being passed by the Delhi High Court. But yes, let's have Mr. Singh finish his statement.
Well, again, so if you have any document and evidence with you which proves what you are saying, please move to the court. You have the best of the lawyers, like you had earlier Mr. Kapil Sibal, now Mr. Abhishek Manu Singh is still in your party, and Mr. Tankha and many other good lawyers, and one of the good lawyers is on the panel also who can probably help you. Please move to the court and get the orders from the court. But in this case, your case, you move to the appellate authority, and it's not that this happened around the election. This has been on for last 4 years. You got notices, you got notices again, and then penalty comes only after you don't reply to the notices. So notices were sent to you, didn't reply to notices. You thought you are probably a dynast and a dynastic institution, so you don't
have to bring a dynast remark into this.
Can I completely? What is problem, Mr. Anthony? I mean, are you a heckler? Are you from Aam Aadmi Party, or is this effect of the Aam Aadmi Party that they are the people who heckle like this? I mean, that's not the tradition.
All right, let me bring it.
No,
sure. Okay, you have another 15 seconds, Mr. Singh.
Yeah. So I got lost of track. But anyhow, but issue is that if they have any evidence on record, let them go to the court. But on their account, they think they are a dynasty and they think they are a dynastic company, and then whatever they do, whatever they feel like, and whenever they got notices 33 months back, they didn't revert to those notices. And after that, they got another notice 10 months back. Even then, they reverted back to the notices. So, income tax has to follow the procedure. And then every time you duck the notice or you don't reply back to the notices, the clause of penalty goes up. I mean, it's into something like 300 crore rupees. And as per me, you are saying some 2,500 crore rupees. As per me,
all right,
this will go to 4,000 crore rupees.
Let me bring in Vinod Jain, who, as we all know, is the right voice to talk about evidences when the IT is conducting its due procedures. Vinod Jain, I want to know from you, what explains why the Congress party is losing its legal battle so far at the Delhi High Court? And that kind of incriminating evidence, shed light on what income tax incriminating evidence is, something that has also been alluded to by the Delhi High Court. Does that not amount to incriminating evidence when the Delhi High Court has taken cognizance of the 2 raids that were conducted on various corporates in 2019? Is also been mentioned in the order.
You see, ultimately, as per the Income Tax Act, a political party is exempt from taxation. That is, of course, is being rightly said by the Congress party we are seeing every day on the television. But on the other hand, there are conditions. The condition is that whenever you receive donations, you should keep a proper record of all the donations which you have received, especially donations which are more than 20,000 rupees, which of course you are not supposed to receive them in cash. It has to be more than 2,000 has to be, always it has to be through a proper banking channel. The only thing required is you need to only maintain more than 20,000 receipt, details of the person, the donor who has given you this money. And if anybody is receiving more than 2,000 rupees in cash, then of course that is a clear violation. And in case some evidence has been found that more than 2,000 rupees has been given in cash to the party, I think our friend is talking about money received by individuals. That is not relevant. What is relevant is money received by the party, the Congress party, Indian National Congress, whether they received some money in cash more than 2,000 rupees, which remain undeclared, or more than 20,000 rupees, which either remain undeclared or they are not maintaining their proper record of address, name, address, etc. It is maintenance of records, not furnishing of record with the Election Commission, which is relevant. As far as Income Tax Act is concerned, they are supposed to maintain records with them. Election Commission compliance is a very different exercise, that is People Representation Act. But in Income Tax Act, you need to only file a copy of the return which you have filed with Election Commission, and you're supposed to maintain proper record of what, from whom you have received this name, address of more than 20,000. But then two violations can occur in this case.
Right.
Either one has received money in cash more than 2,000, which is of course prohibited, and then you lose the exemption as a political party. Alternatively, you have not kept the record of more than 20,000 rupees, which you would receive the name, address, etc., are not kept properly. I think one more last thing I want to actually add here. On 8th March 2024, the Congress party went to Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, and Income Tax Appellate Tribunal was approached for actually taking a stay against these demands. The Income Tax Appellate Tribunal has rejected.
All right, I'm running short of time. Kapil Madan is also a lawyer and political analyst. Kapil, is it not when the Delhi High Court said that it is recording incriminating evidence which amounts to cash transactions made by a Kamal Nath worth 20 crore rupees to the AICC office, there is payment of 90 lakh being made to Digvijay Singh with absolutely no justification to what these transactions were for. These are unaccounted.
No, let me.
Right, that is evidence that has been presented.
Explanation. So let me give you a very small explanation. One thing, I was listening very patiently to Mr. Vinod Jain, and he very categorically and rightly so explain what are the provisions. Let me again tell our viewers, the political parties are exempted from the income tax. All they are required to do is to maintain proper books of accounts. Now, having, one first issue is the issue of timing. Now, if some reports are to be believed, income tax has raised demands for previous 5-6 years. So I'll raise a question. First question that comes to my mind is that why these demands have been raised just before the elections, when the entire country knows the political parties will require.
Because the assessment is time barring, Kapil. The assessment is time barring. We all know that 31st March of any financial year is the last day. No, because this merits an interjection. I am sorry, you're making a wrong point. Vinod Jain.
No, I am sorry. I am trying to make.
Vinod Jain, how crucial is the assessment being time barring?
I want to.
I think the assessment has to be completed
time bar applies for
March as per requirement of anything beyond 6 years plus 1 year. The department cannot go. Total 7 years department can go.
But you
it appears that this year as well as in earlier years, their case was reopened under section 148 for non-disclosure of either non-disclosure or receiving money in cash more than 2,000 or receiving money more than 20,000, which is not for which no record is being kept by the Congress party, and even after asking them, they could not produce that record. By receiving the money from Congress,
I take objection to it.
No, just a minute. Let me complete.
Sure.
I'm making only a technical point. And in case any money is received from Congress party by anybody, whether any person, Kamal Nath, etc., what you're saying, that is completely irrelevant, because what disbursement the political party give in cash or otherwise to its people is not part of the for the income tax department to actually worry about.
All right.
Can I make a small point here?
All right, Kapil, go ahead. You have right. Go ahead.
Yes. We all know, as Mr. Jain has pointed out, political parties are required to maintain books of accounts, and if they don't do it, then they are liable to pay income tax. So I ask a question here. BJP has received 6,000 crores via electoral bond. This is also a political donation. Now, since BJP has not disclosed who has given them, these funding, it was only by the Supreme Court direction this data was revealed. Now, will the BJP or the IT department will see the books of accounts and see
why don't you also talk about electoral trusts? The Congress party, the UPA regime was drawing funding from electoral trusts. RP Singh, how do you react? Because, that's becoming quite, the attack that's now coming in against the BJP with regards to electoral bonds. I'd like to have your thoughts.
I want to come in here, please. Whenever you give me opportunity, I want to come.
Sure. But RP Singh.
Please go ahead, Mr. Vinod Jain. Go ahead. ahead, Mr. Vinod Jain.
Okay. Go ahead,
But the
Vinod
only
Jain.
thing I wanted to add, madam, is that electoral bonds and electoral trust issue are completely separate issue because
Absolutely,
they
and
are
that is
clearly
becoming.
separately
We all
exempted by the
know
Income
that
Tax
that's
Act.
also becoming a crutch of sorts for the opposition to latch on to perhaps put BJP in a dog. But let's have it fair and square. RP Singh, please go ahead. Since the electoral bond issue is also being raised.
Well, very, very simple. I mean, whatever happened, it happened as per the law of the country and as per the act which was passed by the parliament. And again, if there now Supreme Court has undone that, I mean, has said that everything will be brought on record. So everything is on record. So I mean, you can't say that why did you took electoral bonds? So did Congress also took electoral bonds? So did TMT. So did BRS. All political parties took electoral bonds, and we being the ruling party, and we being the ruling party for the last 10 years. So obviously we got more electoral bonds than the other parties. But yes, they have to raise certain issues to cover up their tracks. Their tax they have to do they are doing so, but there is no shortage of funds with Congress party. Let me make it very clear.
Perhaps that's also a question.
Give me a second. They have a lot of chest of some 300 plus crore, which recently was caught. Cash was found from one of the member of parliament. They would have a lot of such chests in various parts of the country today. So there is no shortage.
We don't
of
have
funds
MPs sleeping with 500 rupees notes.
No, let's stick to the topic. Kapil Madan, there can be a question posed to a question, which is then we'll of course go back to electoral trust versus electoral bonds, and why did the UPA regime not have that kind of connect with the corporate lobbies that the Bharatiya Janata Party and the government at the centre has. But having said that, let me not digress. I'm going to quickly take this question from Matthew Anthony. Matthew Anthony, one of course is made to wonder when that initial direction came from the Income Tax Tribunal in the year 2021, that pay 20% of the entire amount that was penalized against the Congress party. Why didn't you go ahead and do so then? The Delhi High Court has also posed this question. Were you sleeping? Is exactly what the Delhi High Court had to say.
Akansha, we have maintained that the Income Tax Department is acting on baseless allegations and fabricated documents. If at all the same yardstick is applied to BJP, on no address count of 1,297,
Matthew Anthony, do not
42
disrespect.
crores. 42 crores. And then BJP...
You're questioning the judiciary because the judiciary has taken into account all those pieces of evidences. In fact, you're still not answering my questions. Why didn't the Congress party settle the matter back in the year 2021 when 20% of the entire amount that's being penalized was asked out of your party? Your party could have still afforded it. What were you trying to evade?
We have a case to argue.
You were buying time.
We have a case to argue with the Income Tax Department, and there are different steps in the Income Tax Department.
And then you question, were you waiting for 2024?
You have learned lawyers here.
Were you waiting for 2024?
That there is no March 31 pressure on Income Tax Department to close all these things from 1993.
Matthew Anthony,
let's be very clear. Let's not fall into a trap of that.
But do you not agree that this is not the first time that the notices have come knocking at your doorstep?
We agree that there were delay in filing. There were delay in filing certain details, from our side. That is, we have agreed to that one. However, we don't agree to the fine demands from the department. If the same yardstick is applied to the BJP, they have got.
Is the same yardstick applied to a Digvijay Singh and a Kamal Nath? Why aren't they able to justify those unaccounted transactions worth 20 crore rupees and 90 lakh rupees?
Akansha, as said, the disbursal of any political party is not the one which is under question here. It is about the receipts. And the receipts are the ones which are to be documented as per the Income Tax Act as well as the Representation of People Act also. So here now, we are not seeing the technicalities of the law right now here. Here we are seeing a complete abuse of the system to make our resources completely weakened before we fight the Lok Sabha elections. That is the politics in this one. If you really go into the technicality, you cannot open up a 1993 case at this point of time without having the assessment officer having substantial evidence of that time after 5 years of your assessment.
Vinod,
so how are they doing it? There are a lot of discrepancies in the Income Tax Department Act.
Before you accuse me of being one-sided, I have a question for you, Mr. RP Singh, as well. Today, we all saw Pawan Kheda holding a T-shirt and taking a jibe at the Bharatiya Janata Party. There was a washing machine also, saying that, you can wash all your corruption charges if you join the BJP, and the jibe was directly taken at Praful Patel. And 2017 was being quoted when the CBI inquiry was closed against Praful Patel, saying that BJP is running a fully automatic machine, works on the principle, join BJP, case closed.
Well, Akansha, they have all the right to go to the court. As I said, they have best of the lawyers in their team, including Mr. Kapil Madan. They should move to the court and get the order squashed. But fact is, they don't even treat court as the agency where they can take reprieve from. I mean, they went to the court. The court denied them all the rebates, and court said you have to pay in the high court. No, they didn't accept it. They say court is wrong. I mean, Mr. Anthony
All
is not
right,
accepting.
I'm
the court
running
order.
short of time. Vinod Jain, I'd like to bring you in on the closing thoughts. Everyone's wondering, is the grand old party set to go broke? Because what the income tax department is asking for is double the value of its own net worth, and analysts have in fact pointed out to a figure that could exceed 2,500 crore rupees, which clearly Congress cannot afford. What's the way out?
I think only the only thing is if they pay 20%, they can always file an appeal. That is one thing. Our friend from Congress has already agreed that there was delay in filing of some details by them, these forms. And the Income Tax Act is very clear. If you don't file them by the income tax return filing date, you become taxable. You lose the exemption. So I think in the appeal, they can always go and take the help of the judiciary at the CIT appeal level or ITAT level or High Court level or Supreme Court level, and they can also seek condonation for that late filing also. But I think there is a legal process which they need to follow. Right now, the only course of action with them is pay 20% of the demand which has been raised, and then fight it properly before the CIT appeal and income tax appeal tribunal.
I'm sure the Congress party is all
possibly
set to
even less than
approach the
20%
apex
also the
court
department may
now.
agree. Yeah.
Clearly, the apex court is going to decide, and that is what is going to prove to be a turning point in terms of all that incriminating evidence that has been provided by the income tax so far against the Congress party and its tax filings. But having said that, such kind of disproportionate funding, campaign funding also is not good for a democracy, and for a healthy democracy, the survival of opposition is equally pertinent and important. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end as far as the Saturday debate is concerned. Thank you so much for watching the Super Saturday debate.